Hi guys, my name is Amanda and today we are going to be taking a look into my Q2 planning journaling system, and I'm basically going to be splitting this video up into a couple different parts. So the first part will be talking about the planners I started out with and what I will no longer be using. Then I'll move on to the planners that I'm sticking with and have been working really great, whether I've changed the uses or not. And then the third part of this will be the new additions and the things that I have been testing out for the past couple weeks or the past month that have been working, and I will be continuing to test out and use for Q2. Okay, with all that being said, if you're new here, welcome. I make planning, stationery, and lifestyle videos. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I hope you would consider subscribing. Also, if you like seeing content like this from me, I hope you would give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, I really want to quickly say why I haven't uploaded anything since like January. So I took off a couple months only because I've been going through a really rough patch, and I really need to kind of give myself a break on something. So it happened to be YouTube this time around. Sometimes it has something to do with school or work or whatever the case may be, but I just needed to take it easy for health reasons, as well as just because I needed my mental health to kind of take a breather and just give myself some time to focus on me. So that's why I haven't been filming or uploading anything for the past couple months, but I'm very glad to start making a comeback, and I figured that Q2 would be the best time to get started. So with all that being said, let's get right into the video. So let's talk about things that I started out with this year that I will no longer be using. So first off, this might be actually a shocker, which is my goals power sheets. I really thought that this was gonna work, but it turns out it's just too big, and I don't feel like it's holding me accountable, if that makes sense. Like each month you get into this section, right, where you get to do like this prep work, and then you get to do your monthly planning, and then you get to do attending list. Now, I have not been very good with utilizing these prep work pages whatsoever. Like I'll fill them out, but then I won't actually come back and do it because they are so large that it's like, it just seems like too much. It takes up too much space, and it doesn't keep me, like it doesn't have anything weekly for me to do. Like everything monthly, weekly, daily that I'm supposed to keep track of is all on one page, and that kind of bores me, if that makes any sense. I'm not asking for something that comes with daily pages, but I would prefer something that at least has like a weekly accountability check-in, something like that, which is why when I will talk about later in the third part of this video, what I will be switching to or trying out, I will show you guys what I've decided to switch this to. And worst comes to worst, if that doesn't work out, I could always come back to this, but for right now this will just be staying on my shelf. Next up is the Happy Planner. I have not touched this since pretty much a little bit into February, the first week of February. I haven't touched this planner. It's become a hassle for me to have to keep setting it up and to keep on switching out sections, and I have a lot of Happy Planner stuff, and it's very overwhelming right now for me. And also, it's kind of also boring me at the same time. Like, it's kind of crazy to say something's boring and overwhelming you at the same time, but that's what this is kind of doing to me. Like, for instance, if this was my only system I was using, period, I think I'd be okay. But also, what's kind of driving me nuts is the flipping back and forth, because I have a ton of sections in here, as you see from the top, a bunch of tabs, and I don't want to have to keep flipping back and forth. I'd rather be able to leave something open and see it all in one shot, if that makes sense. So, too time consuming, too much setup, too much prep work goes into this. I loved it. I do still love Happy Planner stuff, but for right now, it's just not what I need. Next up are a couple of planners that I knew from the beginning of this year that I wasn't quite sure if I would be utilizing them or not. But I still tried them. So the first one is the Franklin Organizer Planner. And this one is a daily planner. Now, I loved this in January. This was like one of my favorite planners in January. But it just kind of fell off for me in February, and then I just didn't come back to it in March. And the only reason why I'm not using it is because I already have another daily planner that I like better than this. But if for some reason I want larger space or something, I might switch to this. Like maybe I kind of regret getting this in the A5 size instead of into a B6 or an A6. Because I think that definitely would have helped me use this more if it wasn't so large. But for right now, it's just going to be chilling on my shelf unless I need it for something, which I do see myself needing it when, like in the summer when things get really busy with school and everything. I do plan on seeing me use this. Now, this is the A5 Take a Note Planner in the English regular version. This planner was bought without a purpose, so it's not a shocker that it's going to be not serving a purpose currently. I just can't get past the larger columns. Like I don't mind journaling in here, but it's just not what I'm gravitating towards. Like I don't need a whole separate book just for journaling, if that makes sense. And it's beautiful planner. I love the paper and everything. It's just it's too large to be my journal, if that makes sense, because I don't always have a ton to write, and I don't want to feel like I have to fill out a whole page just for writing, you know? Okay, so those are all the books that I started out the year with but will no longer be using planner-wise. I did not include the Brainstump journal or my collections journals, just because those don't have a time limit. I don't feel pressured to have to touch them every day. They're kind of like you use them as I need them. Alright, let's talk about the planners that I'm currently using, that I started out the year with and still will be using. So first off is my A5 Hobonichi Cousin Avec. Still love this, still digging it. March was a little bit of a rough month, I won't lie. But otherwise, this is probably the most consistent I've been in a planner in a very long time. You know, I feel like I can just come in here and come up with different types of spreads and just, you know, be creative and make lists, put pictures, whatever I want to do in here, I do it and I love it. And then this is how the daily pages have been going for me. I would say definitely a lot better than last year for sure. As you can see, January was really good, February was pretty good, and then March was a little rough. Like for the reasons I stated earlier in the video, it just was a really rough time for me. You know, still sticking with that. And then the monthlies, I can show you guys what the monthlies are turning out because they turned out really well too. This is what April's going to look like. And the weeklies, I have to say that the monthlies and the weeklies I'm really consistent in. I have not missed really very many days in my monthlies or weeklies that often, and you know, this really helps for when I want to fill out my dailies. I can kind of pick and choose, do I want that to be a journaling day or a scrapbooky day or a collections day or something like that. You know, I just wanted to make sure this was a place for me to be able to do whatever I want, and the weeklies are turning out really great, and the dailies, I have some really great daily pages that I absolutely love. So this is still staying the same, my memory keeper and archive, and I have it in the peachy sky cover from Hobonichi. So that planner, still sticking with it. Then there's my Hobonichi Weeks Mega, still going pretty strong in this one. I did fall out of love with it for just a little bit here for a couple weeks, just because I keep going back to what it was I said earlier, but you know, I've surprisingly made myself kind of come back to it more heavily now, because this is going to be my catch-all planner. This is where everything going on in my life is going to be. I have just come to a realization that I don't need an on-the-go planner and a catch-all planner. That is just total hooey for me. I think it's kind of redundant for me personally to have a notebook that I use at home and then copy it all down, write everything down again in a on-the-go version, and it just doesn't make sense for me anymore, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. So that's where the realization has come into, and I've come back to this basic layout for the week where I will just have events, appointments, meal log, transactions, a weekly task list, and then my trackers. And then in the back I will have my daily logs, which I did back in November, December, and now I'm bringing the back for April. So I'm very happy with that, and I will continue to do that. I'm on page 62, which means if I would have had this in a regular Hobonichi Weeks, I already would have been close to done with this. I would have already been, let me see. So the regular standard one only has 75 pages in it, and I'm up to 62. I only would have had 13 pages left for the rest of the year, and that would not have worked. So I'm very glad that I picked up a Mega, which has significantly more pages. I'm hoping it'll make it till the end of the year. But the Hobonichi Weeks Mega is a staple. Its function is going to be strictly my catch-all on the go planner all in one, with a little bit of my wellness and mostly just like my meal log and some trackers. But otherwise, I really love this planner, and this cover is from Printpressions in the gray with gold hardware. All right, let's talk about the additions and the things that I will be testing out. So I guess let's talk about the additions that are sticking around. So first up, this is my A6 Hobonichi original. It's inside a Printpressions cover, and this is what I'm calling my extension planner. So whatever I don't fit in my Hobonichi Weeks goes in here. So all the overflow and everything, and then this is my main journal basically. So you know, a lot of my pre-planning goes in like this little guy here, but nothing too heavy goes in here, you know what I mean? I don't put anything really like, I don't feel like I copy a lot of things down from this to that, if it makes any sense. Like, I don't, this is mainly for reference rather than for actual planning, because I'll plan out my whole month in here and then I'll go over there, and I like it for decorating too, if that makes sense. Then these are my language study notebooks. This is a sticker release paper, so this is what I'll be putting all my extra stickers in that I want to carry around with me. And then this A6 original is what I'm going to be using for all the overflow and things that won't necessarily go inside my Hobonichi Weeks will come in here, if that makes sense. I did try doing the daily logs in here, but it's just too small of a space, so that's why I put them back in the weeks. And this is where I'll be doing my journaling, and any overflow from the weeks will go in here, if that makes any sense. I didn't want this to become a redundant thing, so I just have to work out some kinks. Like with the monthlies, I don't want to copy the same information here. Like the weekly supplement, I don't mind copying information just because it's very tiny and it's not as time consuming, but I don't want the monthlies to take a long time, if that makes sense. So I think I will use the monthlies more so for project planning and maybe some other type of tracking, but not so much actual planning, day-to-day planning, if that makes sense. All right, next up is my A6, Wonderland 222 planner. This is my work planner, so I can't show you very much, but this is basically where I do all my planning for work. I track my hours, I track my activities, my lesson planning, any professional development, and also is where I do my school notes, and everything goes in here too. So this is my work and school planner for right now. I bought this pretty late in the year. I bought it in February, so that means that I missed out on 3 months of this planner, but I guess that's okay because I got it pretty cheap. But yeah, this is my work and school planner. And then this one, I don't know if it will be staying or not, just because it is just like a random notebook. But this is my makeshift bullet journal. This is a Wonderland 222 B6 notebook. It only has 189 pages, but I made this into a bullet journal to see if I wanted to get back into bullet journaling, and I don't mind it right now. I mean, it's fine, but I have it set up for April, so we shall see if for some reason I make a switch to full-time bullet journaling, but I figured I'd mention it because I don't want to make this an official part of my lineup, but I wanted to mention it just in case she decides to pop up in the future. Plus, I decided to use this tinier notebook just because if I don't, for some reason, use it, it could become a scratch notebook or something. Okay, last but not least. So, like I said, I will no longer be using the power sheets for right now, so I'm switching to Moxie Life, and right now I have the Moxie Life goal setting notebooks. So I have the main notebook here for the full year planning, and then I have 2 of the quarterly notebooks. Now I only do have 2 of them because I bought them off a resale site, so the other 2 weren't included, and I got it for much cheaper, which is completely fine. And I may or may not have purchased the undated 6-month Moxie Life planner. So we shall see if that makes any appearance on the channel. Obviously you guys will see. But I just have these 2 notebooks. Now the reason why I kind of am gravitating towards this, let me just utilize one of these, is because 1, it's so much smaller. I mean, it's thinner, it's more compact, it's A5 size, and I mean, comparing it to this guy, it's half the size. It's just a lot more compact. And for it being more compact, I feel like it has more, if that makes sense. So it comes with a monthly section, and also it's perforated pages, so I guess if you wanted to, you could actually rip them out and paste them in somewhere. I will not be doing that, but it has your monthly goals, so I like that. It gives you a prep place, and if you decide not to use the yearly goal setting notebook, you can kind of just change up your goals as you want, so there's no attached strings. With the goals power sheets, I feel like I had to kind of follow a script almost of what I need my goals to be every month and kind of come back to it, but my goals are always changing, so I felt like this was a lot more fluid, if that makes sense. So then you get a notes sheet, and then you get a weekly actions page, which I like these a lot, and you get however many weeks. I think there's 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, it's 5 weeks here. And then you get a monthly reflections, another dark grid page, and then it starts over. And you get 3 months per booklet, and I feel like this would be a great testing ground for me for the Moxie Life system, because I have this booklet, and then if I want, I can make my actual planning system with the Moxie Life 6-month undated planner. I blame Sadiqa and Turd Boldo for that, just because her goal setting, since she switched to Moxie Life, has made so much sense. And now I know there are people who use both the Moxie Life and the goals power sheets. I don't know if that'll ever be me, but I do need something a lot more fluid and a lot more willing to kind of give more, but be more compact. So I feel like I could probably slip this in my Hobonichi cousin and kind of go with it. So anyway, so as far as my planner count, you've got my cousin, my Hobonichi Weeks, my A6 extension planner, my work and school planner, my goals planner, and then my freeform bullet journal. So there's 6 booklets altogether. I feel really good about it. It's very simple, and like I said, this might not even cut it. It might not even exist anymore, because it's just a grid notebook, and it's not anything dated. So if I decide I don't want to use it, it won't exist anymore. I'm giving myself the freedom to say that. I'm saying it on camera. I'm doing it right now, just so that we all have understanding. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you would consider subscribing after all of that ranting, and give this video a thumbs up. And make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, if you changed your lineup for quarter 2. And if so, what did you change it to? Did you stay the same? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!